Mercedes Harris. Dr. Mercedes Harris is a native of Queens, New York, and is a licensed public health pharmacist with a concentration in chronic disease prevention methods and lifestyle coach with the CDC National Diabetes Prevention Program. Chef Phil Barnum is a native of Barbados with familial ties to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Phil gained his experience and culturally diverse expertise by working in the company of internationally recognized five-star hotels and diamond resorts. With a combined 4 decades of service between both Dr. Mercedes and Phil, working within their respective pharmacy and hospitality professions, both Phil and Dr. Mercedes' desire is to serve others outside of the community pharmacy and hospitality setting. This service has never waned. Their desire only amplified after personal tragedy in 2017. In 2008, Mercedes first received the news that her mother at age 45 was diagnosed with breast cancer in her last year of pharmacy school. Through treatment, monitoring, and consultation, it was discovered 10 years later that her mother's breast cancer progressed to LM, which is leptomeningeal disease. Learning of her mother's LM diagnosis, she was informed of the unfavorable prognosis. In her final days, Phil took on the role of nutritional support and comfort care. In a personal conversation amongst his mother-in-law, she mentioned to let his gift of cooking wane and continue his gift and passion. In early 2008, JC passed away after a strong fight, and sadly from the grief from her daughter's passing. Mercedes' grandmother passed away shortly from complications of a stroke. All the while, Mercedes and Phil were pregnant with their first child and JC's first grandchild. Despite the pain experience, Mercedes and Phil turned their grief into an outlet to help others in the community as it relates to their... 673-4999. Please mute yourselves. Please try to mute everyone. Thank you. So Mercedes and Phil turned their grief into an outlet to help others in the community as it relates to their and their family's health. The creation of a mobile teaching kitchen inspired by attendance at Harvard and the Culinary Institute of America's Healthy Kitchens, Healthy Lives Conference to help communities in need. Their organization named 5 Loaves and 2 Fish Healthy Teaching Kitchen, named in part of the biblical story and message of sharing one's gifts with others. Mercedes and Phil utilized their experience in health education and culinary skills to help improve their participants' and patients' health outcomes through equally nutritious, cost-conscious meal preparation and instruction. Additionally, they provide a safe and welcoming place in which their class participants have opportunities for an improved quality of life and most preciously time to spend with their family, friends, and loved ones with good health. As a labor of love, Mercedes and Phil have worked and volunteered their time both domestically and internationally, most particularly in their ancestral home of Barbados, to be of service and curate programs for youth, young adult, and other populations to increase access to credible health education and nutritional resources. So obviously they have really a vast experience. And so I turn it over to Dr. Mercedes and Chef Phil for this wonderful presentation.
And thank you. Good evening, good morning, where you are in this world. And thank you again, Lisa and Victoria, for inviting us into your homes and to share our message and what we do to your audience. So we're greatly appreciative of. So I just wanted to introduce, I hope people are able to cook along, but if not, just to show that it is a family event. So I have my daughter here. She's 4 now. Look, come, Shakanda, come. To introduce her to the audience. So she's the inspiration for us, along with my mom. And then since she was a baby, she was in the crib and in the stroller while we would do these classes. So she's used to this whole scenario. So this is her, Shekinah. Say hi. And then I'm going to introduce our family member. So introduce.
And this is my cousin here,
Taxi.
and she'll be helping us along with this cooking demonstration as well.
Thank you. Thank you. And you're
Glad to be here.
we're glad you're here. Good. Happy to have you help with the prepping and the cooking. We're excited also. So welcome.
Thank you.
And I forgot to mention that they're actually zooming from Barbados right now, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Again, yes. Just again, you realize you need a village. Can't do it on your own. So that's why we're here. Because her energy level, I can't keep up. So that's why we're here. So without further ado, I'll start a little introduction. And then we'll get to the main event. Everyone wants me out of the way so that you can start cooking. So I'll make mine short. So if you want to start. So next slide. So just to repeat, it's a teaching kitchen. We're mobile, so we accept communities in need. So no, you don't have to worry about, oh, I can't make it, or you're too far. We come straight to you. So we work in churches, community centers. We're located in New York and in Central Florida in the Orlando area, but then we're also virtual to impact as many communities as possible. Next slide. And then we offer anything from in-person and online, like we mentioned, personalized wellness consults. I'm a pharmacist, so I can help guide you. But then again, with anything, you consult with your prescriber or medical doctor for further intense education. We do custom meal prep, private events, and then again, like mentioned, we host a CDC National Diabetes Prevention Program with a cooking component as well. And then corporate wellness events as well. Next slide. So again, soul food is a staple in Black culture, again, with the diaspora originating in Africa. People depending in the Caribbean, the southern part of America, northern part of America, or throughout the world, there's all common components to what are foods common to the Black experience. So we're gonna highlight the benefits of eating, ethnic foods, colorful plate as much as possible. So next slide. And as you could see, the foods mentioned on this slide are traditional foods from Africa, Caribbean, South America, and American South. So, anyone could participate. So is there any certain fruits and vegetables that you like to cook amongst yourselves or your family? I want to get input too. I don't want to be the only one talking.
And I was going to encourage, it's really up to the participants, but if you feel comfortable to show your face so that Dr. Mercedes can see your face, and just to, try to be as interactive as possible. I would say, starting with me, I love to cook okra. Okra, people don't really like okra, but I love okra, like in succotash with corn and lima beans. I just love okra. I don't cook it till it's quite runny, but I love okra.
Yes, Phil just prepped okra just last night, and that's, I don't want to speak. I do the health part, he does the food part. Okra.
Okay, our national dish here in Barbados is actually cuckoo and flatfish. You can sometimes substitute it for mackerel, or you can do some salmon as well. But it's a dish where you mix the cornmeal, and then you slowly incorporate the juice from the okra, and then add the okra in before that.
Yeah, so that's the Caribbean application for okra. Does anyone else want to participate? Any favorite fruits, vegetables, starches, whole grains that you use in your dishes? Okay. So I'll keep going. So again, what are the ingredients that you can use for this dish?
You have some carrots, you have some celery, you have peppers, some red cabbage, and ginger and garlic.
Yeah, so again, a lot of the flowers, alternate flowers, you could use cassava, that's from the African continent, millet, Burberry seasoning from Ethiopia. So a lot of the components that we do in our classes are foods that are local. We want to make sure it's culturally sensitive. So we're including all different foods because a lot of the times they'll say guidelines like Mediterranean diet. People living in the Caribbean and South America or any part of the world, someone from the Caribbean may not have access to foods that are in the Mediterranean. So for example, like grapeseed oil or olive oil could be $30 for a bottle in the Caribbean, where common items would be what, like half that. And based on someone's economic or income level, they can't afford olive oil. So we showed them healthy alternatives. They can use coconut oil, other oils to help substitute grapeseed oil and such. The next slide. You can use, okay. So again, you can try this or that. So again, it's called. So you can use callaloo. So arugula, you can use mustard greens, passion fruit, you could try pomegranate. So mixing up your plate, a lot of the times when we do these classes, people say, they're tired of eating the same food all the time. And that's true. Or based on how they were raised, it's just what their family would make. So a lot of the people in our classes, they'll say, this is what my mom used to make, my family used to make all the time. And that's just what I went with. But that time it could cause chronic disease, high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes. So that's the point of our class, is showing healthy alternatives to foods that you've grown up with. The next slide is, again, prefacing this, making sure that if you have any health considerations, make sure you verify with your doctor. But ideally, it's best to have a well-balanced plate, fruits and vegetables, making sure your plate is as colorful as possible. So again, making sure you have broccoli, carrots, blueberries, a whole color mix, making sure that your plate is as colorful. So you're getting all the vitamins and minerals that you need and fiber to help keep you fuller longer. The worst thing is, especially like say you go to McDonald's or a fast food restaurant. One, now the value meals are increasing in price, and then you spend like $10 and then you're hungry 15 minutes later. So the point of the meal that's so mixed, it keeps you fuller longer and you're paying less for that. So sometimes in our classes, a big hit is we show people how to make their own yogurt. So especially now with inflation and whatnot, they don't have to get the Dannon or the Great Value or whatever brand yogurt. They can make that at home. So the last time we made 2 standard size cartons of yogurt for the same price as a gallon of milk. Because now the price, depending where you live, is $10 now, or depending on the brand that you get. But we show economical ways and still eating healthy at the same time. So next slide. So again, making sure your plate is as colorful as possible. Does anyone know the benefits of eating a colorful plate? Or you could text it in the chat box.
You can also put it in the chat if you don't feel comfortable with speaking up.
Why is it important to eat a colorful plate as much as possible?
To obtain all your vitamins and minerals and all that roughage and good stuff. I guess.
Antioxidants, especially like the berries. So strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, they're high antioxidants. Does anyone know what antioxidants do in the body? Why it's important?
Do they fight off diseases or colds or things like that?
That's true. So anyone heard the term radicals or free radical?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, Rosalie put that. Yeah. Thank you, Rosalie. Yeah.
So who's going to explain antioxidants and radicals in the body? Does anyone know? I'm like mentally playing the Jeopardy song in my head. So free radicals. So say, for example, barbecue, right? Sometimes people like the barbecue charred, like the ribs charred, the hot dogs charred. Is that healthy?
No.
No,
Why is that not healthy?
Because they get
carcinogen.
carcinogens. Yeah.
Very good, very good. So with the antioxidants, well, those carcinogens, it goes through your body and then it could affect the cells from replicating normally as it would. So those antioxidants, it goes through the body and it removes those carcinogens, those free radicals from the body to prevent the cells from being damaged. So that's why it's important to have your plate as colorful as possible so that you're getting the antioxidants, the vitamins and the minerals that you need, especially the fiber to keep you regular, you're fuller longer, you don't have the, what is it? The desire to eat cookies and cakes and stuff like that. So, yeah. All right. Does anyone have any questions so far?
I was going to say one of the things that they brought up, and I know we definitely want you to get started, but one of the things that we talked about in the group was like, yes, eating healthy, but we also hear the term eating in moderation. Is it okay to have a cookie once in a while?
You can.
Yeah, just once in a while, or just,
Yeah.
like a little dessert. I know culturally we finish eating and then it's like, we're like smacking our lips, like we feel for something sweet, So is it okay to have, like, what are some healthy sweet, and you could probably answer this at the end, but just like a healthy dessert or something, but we'll get into that at the end.
Well, and that's another thing. I love cookies, cakes, everything. I like sweets and he likes salt, so like chips and whatnot. Not saying you can't eat any more cookies, just in moderation, like you were mentioning. So just showing healthier opportunities. So sometimes like juicing, sometimes you want that craving of sweetness. So you could juice like an apple, but make sure you don't want to, what is it? Diffuse the whole process of drinking healthy, because sometimes you could juice an apple, a pineapple, all these sweet fruits, and then you're having so much sugar intake. So you want to balance that out with, if you are going to juice like a fruit, have like a carrot or a cucumber to balance it out. And you could have that as a supplement to drinking water. You could add it to seltzer water and you can have a spritzer. So those are healthier options too, like with the yogurt. Phil in the classes, he shows like you could add cinnamon and honey. So it's filling. We also like, again, does anyone know the difference between regular yogurt and Greek yogurt? What's the difference?
Probably one has more sugar.
Sugar, yeah, that's what I was thinking. More sugar than the other.
The only difference is that the Greek yogurt is strained. So when you strain the regular yogurt, you ever open like a can of like a lid of yogurt and you see like the liquid at the top?
Mm-hmm.
That's the liquid. So when you strain that in a colander or a cheesecloth, you get Greek yogurt. So Greek yogurt is just regular yogurt strained. So with the Greek yogurt, Phil adds cardamom powder, cinnamon, honey, and you get your filling because it has the protein. You get the sweetness that you want, and then you avoid eating ice cream as a substitute. So those are healthier options that you could use. Even again, like if something is not in season, you can get the frozen part of it. So frozen berry mix or strawberries, and you can make a smoothie or a sorbet. So those are healthier options as well. And then that helps cut down the sugar content that you're using, especially like say, for example, the flavored yogurts. Yes, it's good, but you have, if you look at the label, you have all that sugar in it. So it's not good. So when you do have yogurt that's plain, you flavor it naturally with the fruits. Okay, so that you're controlling the amount of sugar and the chemicals and whatnot that you're consuming. A lot of the products that are packaged, these food additives, could be damaging to the body. Because a lot of the times people want to lower their blood pressure, their sugar and whatnot. But the additives that are in these processed items are contributing to the high blood sugar, cholesterol, all the things that you're trying to negate. So, does anyone have any questions so far?
Yeah, I see one question. We're going to save the questions for the end after you finish the recipe. But one person wanted to know, should you eat a colorful plate every meal, or as long as you eat those healthy foods a day? Should you be eating it every meal?
Ideally, if you can get in the practice of doing that, that is best, because again, you'll have the vitamins and the minerals in multiple times of the day, not just one time. But again, preface it by saying, you know, if someone has like kidney disease, they may not be able to have certain fruits or vegetables. But again, if your doctor or your medical team allows, it's best to have it as colorful as possible. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Kimmy, for the question.
So the next slide is the main event. I'm going to scoot over, and then Phil's assistant is going to check in. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, hi, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this wonderful evening, morning, or daytime, wherever you are. And this would be my assistant helping me along with the preparing this meal for us. So the first thing I'm going to start with is our lentils too, and pretty much it's like where you go to your pantry or your kitchen and you're thinking, you know, what should I cook today, or what can I cook today? So we're going to take a simple little product, pantry items, lentil items, lentil beans here. So this is the dried lentils. If you're pressed for time, here you can use the can option. So if you're pressed for time, this is, you know, the dried portion. This is when it looks in this cooked form, and we're now going to add that back into the pot, and I'll start our process. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to select an oil that we're going to, you know, heat or saute our onions and peppers with. So I'm going to go with grapeseed oil. We can also use it on our olive oil. Okay. So a little bit of oil in the pot, allow it to get hot. Next, we're going to add some onions and peppers.
You guys seeing the pots? I know that you had a camera. Where are you guys able to view him putting everything in the pot? Okay, okay. There we go. Thank you.
So we will just simply saute those a little bit until our caramelized onions are so very nice and tender. Our translucent in your pot, in your saucepan. Next, we're going to add our carrots and our celery. So the diced carrots in the pot. We're going to add some celery.
They're saying that they can't see the pot. Oh, there it is. Can you see it now, Stephanie?
Now I can, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you.
So right now, that's our little ready one so far. And we're just going to add to this and just build our plate in front of us. Okay, now we're going to add our tomato puree into this. While we're still looking for our onions to get translucent in this pot, in the pot. Now you want to see a little bit of coloration at the bottom of the pot. Don't get worried. That's what we're looking for as well. Now we're gonna add our lentils. So this is what we have going so far. Okay. Now we're gonna add our chicken stock. It can be vegetable if you're if you want to do a vegetarian option. And for this, you want to have your chicken stock preferably warm, so it doesn't change the whole temperature of your pot. After that, we're now going to add our aromatics or spices. So we add some basil, you add some ginger, some garlic, and at the end of this, I need everyone or there's a need question being asked. How much fruits and vegetables are added to the whole entire dish? So I hope everyone is taking notes and paying attention. Now we're gonna add the spices, some oregano, basil, some paprika, and like I said, the sugar is optional, and the sugar helps to balance out the citrus or the citrus in the flavor piece. So, like I said, it's optional and it's depending on the preference of things. Now I'm gonna let this sit and simmer for a little bit and reduce. Now we're gonna move on to making our chicken risotto. Now, chicken risotto is pretty much similar to meatball, and what we use is ground chicken. Now, if you don't have access to ground chicken, say you cook on Sunday dinner, and you have leftover chicken, what you can do is gonna shred it into pieces. We're gonna add some cabbage to that. We're gonna add some carrots. Some green onion and white onion. Some mozzarella cheese. We're gonna incorporate some breadcrumbs. Now, as my wife was saying earlier, now if it is that you don't want to use, say, breadcrumbs, you can substitute and use lentil flour here, or you can use cassava flour. So at the end, we're going to show you actually what they're going to look like. We've made some samples earlier, so we're going to show you at the end of what they're going to look like in terms of color, texture, apart from taste, but in terms of how they fry and adapt to the oil and everything like that. So I'm going to mix this mixture up here. Add some salt, pepper. And then the egg that I mentioned. already beaten. And just add that into your mix. Now, depending on your mixer, it might be a little sloppy at the beginning. Sorry, it might be a little loose at the beginning. So you want to incorporate a little bit more breadcrumbs to bring it in, or to make it tight. As you see, sorry, this is what your mixture is going to look like. I'm going to incorporate some more breadcrumbs. And at this point is where you want to get your hands all dirty. I actually believe so you can actually feel the texture of how much more breadcrumbs you need to add to the mixture.
Would another option be to add like nutritional yeast or anything to hold it together, or just the breadcrumbs? Like for
Well,
people.
it's going to come together eventually. As you can see. Yes, you can. And then we're going to add a little more breadcrumb. And going back to your question, like I said, you can use cassava flour or lentil flour, depending on your option, and then to avoid it, using the breadcrumbs. And you just want to have your own little sweetie pot. So you're looking for consistency like this, where it's all coming together. And you're able to pull it apart and not to start forming your patties. Oh, your risotto, sorry.
And again, like Phil mentioned, making sure that your plate is as colorful as possible. So you have the purple cabbage, carrots, if you choose. So those are ways to incorporate color into your meal.
Yeah, we go for it. Okay. And just want to be on in your oil. And that's like approximately 3 to 4 minutes per side.
Or as an option, you could bake it in the oven to avoid oil.
Thank you.
Or maybe in the air fryer too, right? I know a lot of people are using air fryers now, right? Maybe
That's true.
the air fryer.
And then again, it doesn't necessarily have to be chicken. You could use beef or any other type of meat product, or you could even have it vegetarian.
Now, setting that aside, what we wait for this to come together, then I'm gonna check on our levels. Smoke it already.
That recipe for later. Is anyone else making it at home? Okay, well, these recipes will be available. I think they'll be available at the Share website, and I think you guys already received them too. So I'm sure, I hope that you'll be able to make them in the future, in the near future.
We always encourage the people to cook along with us because just the smell, you don't want to miss out. So it's so good.
I can smell it
Great.
through the video.
Yeah.
And since we are kind of pressed for time, kind of, we already prepared some plates for you. So, this one is the cassava flour like I mentioned earlier.
Do you
Yummy.
mind putting it closer? Put it to the camera next to the like by the stove to get, or yeah, like it's. Oh, okay, yeah. So that looks, yeah, and that's the one. Repeat what that one is with.
So this one here is cassava.
Mhm.
I use it in some terms. And this one is the lentil pie.
Got it. Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
And I'm just now waiting for the lentils. So
Mhm.
this is what we have a prepared plate for you. So this is the regular one with the breadcrumbs. You have some brown rice. You have some tomatoes, radish, cucumbers, which up and pickled earlier.
Mhm. I was gonna say those look really good. I don't know if anybody want to agree in the chat. Like, I think those look really, really good. And I think for me, like, that for me to go back to get seconds of that, that would be good, where I'd feel like it's healthy. You have the brown rice, you're gonna be full. You have all your radishes. It's like, it looks really, really good. And I guess you can add different vegetables too. So that looks really like nice and healthy. Oh, Stephanie's not a fan of radish. Well, yeah, you can add something else. Like it looks very delicious. Yeah.
The thing is, Phil prepared the radishes so thin, they're like paper thin, so you barely even taste it. So a lot of the meals that Phil would prepare is like turnips. And people, they already had this preconceived or a bad experience with certain foods, and he just changes everyone's perception all around. So
Right, right. And I think culturally for us, you know, I remember as a kid growing up and eating turnips, whether it was in soup or boiled turnip, and it does have a different flavor. That looks beautiful, Phil. Yes, I think it's nice to incorporate some of those ancestral dishes that our grandmothers, our great grandmothers have, and then you can make them healthy and delicious. So that looks really good.
Yeah, as I said previously. Now, who can tell me how much vegetables, fruit or vegetables were actually incorporated into this dish?
40%.
What was the question?
How many fruit and vegetables were actually incorporated into both dishes?
How many fruits and vegetables were incorporated into both the dishes? I'm gonna guess, but I want other people to guess.
Oh, about 10. I'm gonna go all out. 10.
I was gonna say 7 to 8. because I know he puts stuff inside, so probably over, yeah, 10 or more.
A little more. Little more.
Oh, really? More than 10? Oh,
I said 40,
14, 14.
40,
Just
40.
about 15.
15.
15.
wow.
15, he said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
15. Wow.
So
Wow.
this one we have some grapes, we have tomatoes, the radish, the cucumbers. And then in the result, sorry, we have cabbage, carrots, onion, and sweet onion. We have sweet peppers and celery. So approximately 50.
And what's the calories? What are the calories for each dish?
They're low calorie, but just based on the ingredients and the oils that you're using, it's less than the recommended
Daily,
requirement, yes.
yeah.
In the recipe, like you'll see, like it says healthy carbohydrate, low sodium in the recipe card that we provided. But we can get the exact calorie amount and send it to you if you are interested in that.
But that is a nutritious meal, complete, that you do not need anything else.
No, ma'am.
And that's the great of it. Yes.
So like,
That's it.
like you're asking, this one can go as your appetizer, and then this one can go as your main course.
Wonderful. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
No. No, thank you so much. They look really, really delicious. Is this something that you guys would be think that, you know, from everyone in the group that's attending right now, do you think this is something that you would try at home? Or, you know, I know that they look like meals that kids could eat too. You can kind of, you know, add a little bit more of this or that to it. Do you guys think that this would be something that you guys would be able to make at home?
Absolutely. Just a second.
Thank you. No, thank you. Did you have something to say, Dr. Mercedes, before I start taking any questions or?
And then if you want to, you know, make it a little fancier.
A little what? Say it again.
Fancier.
Oh.
Sprinkle a little parsley on top of it.
Mhm.
And there you have it. A fun dining healthy meal.
Yeah, no, that looks really delicious.
And that's another thing. Sometimes people feel, no matter, you know, the culture, whatnot, that for you to feel full, the whole plate has to be covered. And that's not necessarily the case. You know, that's why we stress on making sure that your plate is as colorful as possible so that you're getting the fiber and the nutrients to keep you full.
No, everything looks delicious. And the time wise too, I mean, to just quickly do that in 20, 30 minutes. It's not, you know, for people who are coming home from, you know, that has families. If you're in a rush, you just want to do something really quickly to, you know, if you're coming home from chemo or from, you know, from the doctor's office or something, you're like, you know what, I just want something
Exactly.
fast, and you can just quickly like throw it together instead of, you know, waiting for chicken to thaw out, waiting for this to boil, you know. I think those are really good and healthy. You could use with ingredients you have at home. And cheap too, economical. A can of lentils at Walmart, you know, or, you know, 90 cents, $1. If you buy the bag, you can use it and use some for later and use them throughout the week. So I think those are really nice and healthy. And you
Even
can
with
save them.
the lentils, the dried lentils, you can soak them overnight. If you want to have to get going in the morning, you can soak them overnight if you want to go that option as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, thank you so much. Do we have any questions from anyone about the recipes that we just saw? We do have some questions that were submitted when participants signed up, but just from those meals, do you guys have any questions right now for the two chefs? Anybody? Okay.